So what we're going to be showing today is a couple different strategies to go from a standing position to a seated position or close to the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's such an important part of being a human being in our physical world.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to stand to seat and being able to have this relationship with the ground. And it seems as though in our society we lose that a little earlier than we need to
And why do we lose that?
because we don't do it enough.
Because of chairs and tables and computers and driving and all these things. We lose this capacity to go down and up because, like you said, we don't need it as much, but we do.
But we still need it.
Exactly.
We just need it less. So it's on us to incorporate it into our movement hygiene or our movement nutrition, right? We need to incorporate this into our lives in some capacity. So these are 3 drills to do that.
Exactly.
The first exercise we're going to demonstrate is a really simple one. It's very introductory. I highly recommend it for people who deal with foot, ankle, knee, hip issues. And you can add a more explosive or dynamic quality to it as you feel more comfortable with it. So this first motion we'll be going over is a very simple motion. It requires both the hands and the feet. So what we'll be doing is we'll be sending one leg back, and the leg that goes back will send that same hand down towards the ground. I'll then place that hip onto the ground, rolling, swiveling the feet, rolling around, coming onto the opposite hand and opposite leg, and coming back up. So we'll repeat it the other way. I'm going to send my left leg back, left hand down, left knee, left hip, then right leg and right hand, and standing up. So from a slightly faster motion, it comes down like this, and back up. Coming down, and back up. So I really love this motion because it can be a great motion for someone who's a bit more athletic. It can also be a great motion for really anyone at any level. So I even run my 92-year-old grandmother through this type of motion. Obviously, we're going very slow with it, but it can be done on all sorts of levels.
And the second one was more of using your structure to come down. It's one you can use throughout your whole life as long as you can bend your knees. And it's a really beautiful way to take pressure off of your knees and ankles to come down to the ground. So that's a nice progression from the first exercise that we can do at any age.
Okay, so this next motion we'll be doing, I like to call it the 90-year-old squat. Why I call it that is because we're using our structure to go from a standing position to a seated position. We're trying to use as little muscle as possible. So what I'm doing is I'm first going to lean forward with my chest, legs are straight. Then from here, I'm going to drop down into a catcher squat. Then I'm going to bring the knees down onto the ground very lightly. Then I flatten out the legs, and now I'm in a seated position, or seisan. I will then come back up into a step-toe kneel, back up onto the feet, standing up, all the way up. Okay, so it'll look like this. Yeah, and then this third one requires some strength, and it requires good joint health for sure. But it also, while it requires that, it also provides that. It gives strength to those structures, those joints, and those muscles.
All right, so this is the third exercise, and this is a progression. It's a little bit more challenging. We want to use less of the arms and mainly focus on the hips and our core and knees and ankles. And the feet can be together, or ideally they're a foot apart. If the feet are together, you're going to get more stretch in the feet. So it's basically you're going to bend at the knees, keeping the torso and spine straight as you come down. coming up onto the toes and the heels are up, and then slowly bringing the knees down. And you're going to come back into this 90 position with the knees, and then slowly pressing up and down. So you can do these in repetition to build some strength in the body, doing anywhere from 5 to 10 reps and 3 sets, 2 to 3 times a week. What I would recommend, so I'll do a little quicker. One more.
So all 3 of these are worth exploring and incorporating in some way.
I think another thing to add is that you can add holding onto a stick or something to balance yourself if you're rehabbing something or you have some injuries. Well, if you can come into it with some assistance, or maybe having somebody hold your hand or holding someone's shoulder as you come down. I think that's another way where you can do this and scale it.
That's a really great point. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about these 3 exercises, please feel free to reach out in the comment section below and subscribe to our channel, and have a great day.